And first on the agenda is review and approve November 16th, 2021 minutes. Do you gentlemen have a chance to go over those?
On the computer.
Yeah.
I make a motion. Go ahead. Make a motion, we approve Ms. Rowe. Second.
All in favor? Second thing is the review and approve November 30th, 2021 warrant.
I got a question on that one bill on the truck, the lease
Oh,
truck.
the lease truck.
Yeah, I thought the maintenance come with that truck.
You know anything about that, Danielle?
I didn't even know there was a bill in there, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you wanna hold it off, or
Well, everything else I look okay to me, except that one bill on
that
it.
one bill?
I thought that's what Ryan told us, that it come with full maintenance.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, maybe we'll hold off on
Yeah.
ask
So-
them tomorrow.
So we'll hold off on that pending
I move that the payroll warrant be accepted.
Yeah, that's something,
the, okay. All in favor? I'm gonna leave this with you, Danielle, so you can explain it
Everybody
to
sign it.
Yep.
Devin more, and he's gonna hold off on it. Next thing is Cumberland County assessing documents, vacant map, 2 lot 7-75 and tree growth for 11-25A.
It's, acres of wildlife, you're not gonna see it on there, well,
Oh,
it's a camper.
maybe it's gonna, they're gonna separate one? No,
There's an acres of wildlife map in my room.
it's not.
Okay, thank you.
And one of them was again to make as well.
Yeah,
It's not detailed in it. C7, okay.
I think the other one was evaluation thing.
this is for this one. Tree growth.
Yeah, this is the one, the acres of wildlife, be away.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I was thinking. bike car down there, just down the road, a store, the old store there.
Yeah.
There must be a cutoff right there somewhere. Got you thinking, don't it?
Yeah, I got it. Sounded about right.
I thought the line was back there before you went through the ledges. Whiskey Falls and Baldwin. Is it one mentioned in Baldwin?
Some of it is.
Is it?
Yeah. Anything they've expanded on new
Yeah.
comes to the ball with side.
And there was, I ride four-wheeler, ATV, I make machine, and, so I've gone to a few sub meetings on the Sanders side. And we, done maintain trails, and some of the land out there belongs to the state as well.
Yeah, 500 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah. State owns some land up that way, up by past the review site as well. Somewhere up there, they own 600 acres.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah. Review EMA documents with Owen Sprague, and a 5-year migration plan.
That one at the beginning, the other day,
Yeah.
just trying to look at it now and see. Yeah, that, another letter that was, we had for signatures the other day.
Tim said it.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. This is all this, yeah.
Part of that's the 60 days is the first 2 bucks.
Morgan County Maine has completed the task of updating the FEMA required hazardous mitigation plan. Will replace the previous version. The update was a long-term project, yeah, looks like it. Monthly has approved this plan pending adoption by all the county municipalities. FEMA is now asking each jurisdiction to bring the plan to their city council or select board for this approval. Here's the link, I looked at it. We've also attached the template approval document which your municipal council board must complete. If you should decide not to approve, the municipality will then be responsible for writing their own plan. The approved plan we must present, must receive by February 25th. Okay. I think this is just stuff that I emailed to you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that stuff is,
Yeah.
I mean, how accurate it is.
Yeah, maybe. Read the top line though, it doesn't look very encouraging, does it?
No. We're at the bottom.
We're at the bottom, just about everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way it is. So, at this point, I think we just approve it,
Yeah.
because I don't think, we're in a process, or what it takes on writing a new one, or a new portion of it for ourselves. Although I would say that maybe for the next go-around, we could come up with some more current projects, because it looks like a lot of the projects on there were listed as completed already.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll find it there.
You wouldn't adjust how accurate that census is when you don't accept what newspapers.
I don't know about their projections, what they have in here is that well, they had in the earlier one, I didn't print that out, but in the earlier plan, they said that our population grew by 18% between 2000 and 2010. And here it says that between 2010 and 2019, our population decreased by 9%. And we have a projection of population increase between now and 2028, and it's about 0.5%. We've got a population of 1,500, which stayed pretty much the same. 1507, something like that.
Here in the town of Galway,
Yes.
It's actually about right. We had a population of 1350 back in 2000.
Back in 1850.
Yeah, and back in 1850, and so 18% is about what we've got now, plus 18%. 230.
But they say that we've gone back down, I don't know.
Yeah.
Increase in population from 2010 is -9%. And,
We should be paying less on those bills that we pay per capita, like for Harvest Hills.
it's interesting about the, of course, there's living, it's really interesting when you look at the rest of the town.
Could I look at it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
Alright, while we look at that, we're going, review North Walden Fire Station lease. Is the one here? It's wrong.
What's wrong with it?
Cause you don't have my father's signature for it. This is the original one here. Copy of the last one we wrote. And all it does is just put a representative for Northbound Volunteer Fire Company and my father's signature.
I can change it quick, I got the Word document from David Laurie.
You want this one, a copy?
I have a copy, but I just printed what David Laurie provided.
He provided that? Yes?
Yep.
So you approved this one last time. It's all the same word, and there's no place for my father's signature on it.
So then, I got the Word document if you want me to add that after the meeting.
So that's what I, yeah, because I've got this too.
He's the landowner, right?
Right.
Should be, that's fine.
Yeah, and it just, last time it was just a representative of the fire department signing it. So, I mean,
Whatever you want me to
Put his
do.
dad's name on there.
You want me to do it now or after the meeting?
And do it now. And we can sign it here. It's supposed to be 3 years on it, too, instead of 2. I don't know what that says. On the new one, I don't know what it says. The old one says 2. I talked to him the other day, and he said it's 2. But I move that we sign the lease. Once you get the proper. 2 years. It's supposed to be 3. I spoke to him the other day, I called him. So we do 3. And his name probably should be there, since he's the one writing the lease. I agree with it.
This is the copy we looked at Friday, so.
this is the original.
I don't know what papers you got there, so.
It's just had these two, from one from the North Wall, and this is what David approved last time.
So, okay, this is blank, so which one do you want? Do you want to just sign this one?
Well, depends on the term. This is 2 years. I mean, honestly, why not? We couldn't sign this. Just add his name to it. Like this.
Maybe.
And his signature before was witnessed by Debbie too.
Right.
I think that's still should happen this month.
So, should hold off, send them down, just put his name on here.
Sounds like there's quite a few edits between the term and everything, so that's up to you guys, we'll do whatever you want.
I think you just change it from 2 years to 3 years, right?
Yep. As far as the verbiage, I don't know, that was the only thing that was really changed.
Yeah. Go ahead and I'll have them look it over, print it off, and maybe he can bring it down. He goes to dump, he'll be down here Friday, so we can stop by, he can sign it.
Are you guys gonna sign it once I make the edit tonight, or?
Yep.
Okay, so Debbie's signature, Alan's signature, and 3 selectmen.
I think there's a little bit of confusion here, I see Royce wondering what's going on, just looking at blank stare. Typically, yes, the fire department's done it, but the buildings of the towns, typically, is how I look at it now. So we're trying to get this thing done properly in the right order.
Because it still says for the North Ball Fire Company on here. I mean,
It'll be the North Ball Fire Company building probably. But there's,
no, this is for somebody to sign it. And,
the building,
Yeah, there's a lot of edits, but.
it'd be like last time, because, Stevie Thorne signed it last time, because he was the station for North Ball Fire Department.
I understand that, that's what I'm saying, maybe this should have been copied going now. This should be the agreement between the selectmen and Alan, correct?
Well, before, it was just, because
I understand before, because there's associations, but
the association is dissolved.
I can't even get enough members to dissolve it. So how is that? Now you see why there is some changes here, and probably this should have been caught before.
Okay.
Well, my suggestion is that you figure out what editing you wanna do, and then we'll bring it up at the next meeting.
Okay.
All right.
But the only thing would be, take out, instead of 2 years, it'd be 3. So we'll take out pulling off on the fire company.
The lease should be between the town and the.
Okay.
I don't know if the insurance company will recognize volunteer fire company.
That's right.
We're recognized as town of Baldwin.
Right.
This is what we're trying to clean up.
Right. Right. I'll just spell his name. Okay. So, forgot too, original lease, did it say on here, so no alcoholic beverages?
I don't think so.
I got the original
Ain't
one.
with any town-owned buildings either, so.
It's true, it's a public building, so, I got the original one, my grandmother signed.
Yeah, I know.
I think burial. Violated that one many times. Alright, so we'll hold up on that. Okay, review, water testing from water. I guess the filters are working, right? We just need to,
What, Charlie Ward said was, that test shows that there is still contaminants that need to be filtered out with a charcoal 2-tank system out there.
yeah.
So, he said we could just leave it, and I personally don't like it, cause it's the thing that's leaking and attracting roots growing through the drain and everything. Mess on the floor, it looks like it's causing deterioration of the back wall and stuff. But the charcoal filtration system is still needed. That's contrary to what the state told us. So I guess we gotta get that state letter back out and see what we're gonna do with that. We can address that before. He said, I talked to him this afternoon, and he said he would, if we want, he could provide us a cost estimate to provide a smaller set of tanks. He doesn't think we need them quite that large, because we're not supplying a school full of kids.
Yeah.
And the other system needs some repair, there's some valves that are broken.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So he was looking for me to get some information on the pump, because those 2 pressure tanks that are not working, can't replace them. There's just certain things you can't buy anymore. And,
Yeah.
so, his suggestion was that we go to a constant pressure pump,
Okay.
which is a pump that, comes up slowly, produces adequate pressure, instead of what we have right now, the thing just turns on, and that's where you get a clank.
You get a hammer and stuff, yeah.
So I'll get back with him tomorrow about the size of the pump. It's at 5 horsepower. Where's the well, by the way?
So far,
Is there well cap, standard well cap type
there's
thing?
a, handle.
I see.
That's what they told me, I've never seen it.
Oh.
I've just been told that, so. When you said, that pump's down that ways.
Yeah, well, these they are, but, we would need to be able to get the cap off and pull the thing out to drop a new, pump into it. It would mean a new pump and a new controller.
Is that like a deep well pump?
Yeah.
Or is it?
It's a submersible pump.
Probably an artesian pump.
Yeah. We got-
Best to do it there. I know a little bit about water, my father worked in that field for quite some time, and then, I have a water softener at my house, and as they advertise on the radio or on television as well, the only company out there, you guys can, you know, suggest other people, but there's only one company out there that I know that'll do a good job, and I haven't seen anybody else do as good a job as them and stay on top of it, is Yarmouth Water Treatment. They are good. I got them in my house, I have a hard water situation going on, it's not there no more. I used to have Saco Water Treatment, and they were lousy. These guys from Yarmouth, my father used to take a jar up there, and I was a kid, he'd drop it off, and he used to work for Stanley Hillock. And, when the water was bad, they would tell him that the water tested out perfect. Boom. My father drilled wells all over the state of Maine. Yeah, so, that out there. You can go down to Home Depot and buy a cheap pump, or you can call the guys that drill wells, like Phillips is not in business no more, so Hampton's is, and I had them put a brand new pump in my well, and the pump that they put in is a stainless steel pump, water pump, and I wanna say it's been in there, what, I think 8 years now. I haven't had a bit of trouble with it.
So, what he said was, as soon as I tell him the information about the pump, he'll start working on a cost estimate for it.
Okay, yeah.
And then the next question is, how do we pay for, and I think we can use this COVID relief money, and I don't think it requires, I've done some research into the rules, I don't think it requires anybody's approval, except the townspeople.
So just draw out of that, look.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, I've gone through multiple layers of stuff, and it looks like it's, something that you can just pay for and do.
Okay, well, that'd be good.
And it's something that we need, so.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
This is gonna be cheap,
No.
it'll be expensive.
What's that, the water pump?
Pump the tanks.
Tanks, this is a
Pretty much
treatment.
replace the whole system.
Yeah, the pump only cost me, I think it was, $300. And then the, Yarmouth Water Treatment come in and took the other tanks out and everything and put their tanks in my house. And their whole entire, I think it was $3,400 to put their system in. And I got the big tanks, and I got a room that's probably, 4 feet by 4 feet, and their tanks are in there and everything. I live in a double wide home, that's what I live in, and I can't ask for a better system. I mean, my water is perfect. I mean, yes, you got that salt water box in there as well, but
Wait and see.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
Yeah. All right, we got the results back from, insurance company on the audit. Some items here we need to clean up. Fire safety, not all 405 things are inspected monthly. We knew that. Good enough. Yeah, that's up in, I'll handle that.
Census used to do that.
Huh?
Census used to come and,
They do it yearly.
oh, okay,
This is a monthly tag, you know, the little tag on it, somebody has to sign off on that tag.
every month, okay.
Yeah. As is communication, Bruce, what's the fire department doing now about that? You just watch a video and
Oh,
has
I mean,
gone?
for to satisfy the
With
sexual harassment and all that stuff, or is it
so
just?
they just said HASCOM, hazardous communication, so, for SDSs.
I can pull it out for you and put it on jump drive and look at it.
That'd be good, yeah.
See if that's what you want.
Yeah. That's something, huh?
I'll be in here tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll put it on the desk tomorrow.
All right. That's something that, all the town employees have to do, the yearly thing, just to go through the SDS's. So some afternoon, we'll probably have to pick a day, and all of us get together and review that, and we'll have to have a sign-off sheet.
Okay.
That's the only thing they're asking for?
Yeah, no,
I can see some of the others too, but they're not asking.
You never wrote down.
Huh?
You never mentioned that to me, you know, you never wrote down, that surprised me.
and it's had some, yeah. Well, you said something about the extension cords too, but that's not down.
Yeah. Yeah. And the tiles, a couple tiles down there that might show a little, when, you know, he even thinks it might be mold,
Yeah.
so.
He did mention, what was that? Oh, yeah, so here, other miscellaneous. Ceiling tiles showing signs of moisture
Around
and
the backside.
potential source of mold. And the property building that needs repair and controlled hazard was found during the property survey, which is,
One thing he found was the, kids' play box out back here. He wants a roof going on that by spring.
take it right off.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's not mentioned. Well, maybe that's included in the property hazard. Also, and there's no, other detail in that. Emergency action plan. I've already got one started, so I'll continue with that, and we'll bring it up at one of the, personnel meetings.
Like, you take this building right here, this room, should have a map over on the wall, really, telling you when the emergency exit sirens.
Yes, the, evacuation map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to do that, I can do that, we have the map, we just need to update the rooms and stuff, I don't mind doing that if you want me to.
Okay, yep. Indicate corrected immediately. So,
The mold down in the far room down there, I'm looking to see if there's something that we can fix with COVID funds as well. There's something in there about facilities for daycare, I think, or childcare, something like that. I'll see what the rules are.
that'd be good, yeah.
I know we like to fix that immediately, but it's really costly.
Right, it is.
Kind of take that wall apart.
I think, maybe if we send them, the quotes we got to get them repaired, maybe that will buy us some time. So, yeah, we are working on it, but in the meantime.
It was not really a quote to repair, it was a quote to tear it apart.
Yeah. Well, at least it's something to show them that, we are aware of it and we are working on it.
You never even see that, though.
You didn't see
I
that?
never even looked at that. He walked down to the hall,
Yeah.
looked in a couple rooms. He found a spray can in the kids' room, which can't have any aerosol cans that they can get a hold of. He told me about that.
Yeah.
Other than that was about the only thing he said.
So this must be probably just the more major things that.
You mentioned ceiling tiles, didn't you?
But,
Didn't you mention ceiling tiles?
no, never mentioned it. way it struck me, I mean, the fire extinguisher thing, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll bring this up on that meeting, personnel meeting, and
I'll see if I can, the stuff that I had wrote down, I'll see what there is, because I had more stuff wrote down than I see it.
well, yeah.
There was stuff that he found.
Well, no, yeah. Well, that's a good idea too. We're always instructed that we go around with an auditor to take pictures too of what they're talking about, so it's easy.
Now, the only pictures he took was out on the back of the building, and he stood at the corner of the building out here and took a picture up to the front.
Okay.
That's,
You can take pictures of any of the hazards or anything.
No. And it needs to be painted, there's no doubt it needs to be painted and stuff, so I'm wondering if that's why he's showing on maintenance.
It's more just cosmetic stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
I don't know, we'll have to take each one as it comes and go from there.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanna get that roof off, that thing, I can come out here with a sawzall, cut it out.
Cut it out, yeah.
Cut it up into pieces,
Well, I think that's what we're gonna do.
and put it on the trailer and take it to.
Was it made out of steel or made out of wood?
What was it?
A chainsaw,
Yeah.
whack it down,
uh,
and push it over and cut it up, load it on a truck.
All right. Internet service for all steps forward. We want to look at one company, you don't see.
Look at the one company, Danielle is doing consolidating survey information.
I'm almost done,
Yeah, yeah.
so, yeah.
I was talking to Ron last night at the break down, and he said that he has, had quite a bit of conversation with, Spectrum. What was their new, parent company?
Oh, I don't know.
Comcast, I think. And, that they've, you give them the streets where you want to have them extend service to, and they'll give you a cost. It's X number of dollars per mile or something like that. Okay, you got the expensive option and the cheap option. But the interesting thing was, he said that they would pay for 60% of it in the town, need to pay for the other part.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear anything back from the Channel 6 people about putting a receiver up and stuff?
No, we're not gonna hear anything from them until we just send them a letter saying, you know, we've got the, conditional use permit, we think it requires you to, participate, and we think this is an important issue for the town of Albany.
Yeah, but that's Channel 6 isn't today though.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
Channel eight.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you're talking about,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know what you're
Well,
talking
And
about.
do they even own it anymore? I thought they sold it.
Hertz,
Channel eight.
Hertz Communication owns it, yeah,
Okay.
but they still have the
Access to
CUP
it.
for it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was just kind of a letter to say, we're here,
Yeah.
we think you.
This has a camera on top of the tower at the campground in Falls Point.
Yeah.
Cause I was watching, Channel 6 last Saturday and Sunday, they were showing the White Mountains.
Yeah.
So, I think we probably need to, that's another COVID-funded item, COVID relief-funded item. And, we need to start making some progress toward what we wanna do.
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting that, the goal is universal coverage, but the COVID relief thing says that we don't have to provide coverage for everybody. It's the goal, not the be all end all, and so, anyway. So there might be some areas in town that don't get covered.
Uh-oh.
But, you know, depending on.
Me?
Your house, yeah. But,
The kids in the 107, Bruce.
The worst thing is the fiber optic cable going right up past your place.
There is?
Not one drop taken off. It's going to the phone.
Oh. Oh.
It picks it up down in 107-11.
Yeah.
You know, actually down in the phone boxes where the new houses are built, you know. It
Yeah.
picks it up there and it goes right up to that phone.
when it's a phone fiber, not the TV.
It's a phone fiber and not one drop off. You can't get on.
So, anyway, that's just kind of where we are.
Okay.
Before, but, you need to get through your thing, Daniel, you and I can sit down and figure out which roads you wanna go, and we'll talk to, Spectrum, see what they come up with a cost estimate. So there's two options, is, you know, extend the fiber, and the other is something like the red zone.
Yeah. It sounds like, you know, the red zone now, some places still got get messed because of the line of sight isn't.
And if you get high enough, man, it paints the whole area.
Yeah. All right, cemetery policy.
We had a discussion a while ago about, maintenance of, stones,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I dug out of the statutes that we are required to maintain veteran stones.
Yes.
They're monuments, so.
Right. You have to be straight, yeah.
Yeah.
Grass can't be over so many inches.
Yeah, if they're broken, they're supposed to fix them.
Yeah.
So I drafted a policy, and one of the things I put in the draft is that we would endeavor to fix those other, monuments that got broken. There's a lot of them, the really old ones that have been snapped off. I know the West Balkan Cemetery is a number of them, in various degrees of decay. Something to think about, you know, we haven't done anything with it, but,
You said you drafted a policy?
I
We already
did.
had a policy.
no, I haven't seen it anywhere. Where was it?
It is somewhere,
What you sent was a state statute.
Yeah, no, it's the town policy, we wrote up, I helped write it, me, Ron, Parker, and my father. It was just the rules of the cemetery, I don't know where.
Yeah.
I get that at my desk over here. That's for the new cemetery over here, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I thought it was this one, West Baldwin,
Yeah.
and North Baldwin.
Gives the, time that cemetery's open to the time the cemetery's closed.
Yeah.
The lot sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that, I got copies of that. at my
Okay.
desk.
Yeah, the state says you have to maintain them. Yeah, I mean, I know there's lots, there's a cemetery up back of Tony Haskell's up there in the field. Last time I worked on, a big pine tree came down, knocked two of them down, I don't think they're veterans, so. But it could fall under, ancient burial ground.
They are, but I don't think ancient burial ground rules says that we have to repair the monuments. I think we're only required to repair the monuments of veterans.
Veterans, yeah, I know that, yeah.
And so I was recommending that we at least keep an inventory of those other ones that are damaged and endeavor to do repairs to them over a period of time.
Yeah. Yeah, there must be something out there that kind of glues them together, I don't know.
Hydraulic cement,
What is it?
hydraulic cement.
Yeah,
There's a lady in Brownfield I used to do a couple of headstones, and depending on what the material is, will determine how you repair it.
like marble or granite.
Marble is a real problem.
Yeah, so soft.
It's soft and it dissolves with acid rain, and then, granite, different, slate, different, so you got different rules for different materials.
Oh, okay.
But I think in the policy, I said we would hire somebody that's experienced at doing it, we just don't go up there and
Right,
slap a bunch of epoxy on it or something.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll think about it.
yep. Personal property taxes.
So, we had Gary McNeil come in and talk to us about how to collect. And then the other day, of course, we didn't do anything about it. And then the other day, we thought maybe we ought to start collecting personal property taxes, particularly from Nature's Wilderness Resort, because they have a $16,000 personal property tax bill they haven't paid for 4 or 5 years. David Rory kind of waved it away, didn't want to be involved, I think.
Yeah.
So it comes back to us to decide how we want to do it. And there was something I was just reading in MMA's handbook today, I don't know this was here, but they said one of the things you can do to enhance collections, put an ad in the newspaper for food delinquent.
Oh my
Huh?
Shame them into it, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the first things they recommend. And,
The government does it, why not?
It's like the storage shed ad. It's like the storage shed ad.
Yes.
It's like it's,
the storage shed, I'm not familiar with
I
that.
don't know either.
okay, they shame them into, come get your stuff or we're hauling it away.
They sell it too, they'll be like.
Right, they auction it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, they're like that people down there in Lebanon on 202? You don't pay your rent on your storage bin? They take their stuff, all the stuff and load it up and take it across the street to their place. Yeah, and then they're yard selling it.
But there's,
Crazy.
that was the first thing, but the second thing was what Gary McNeil talked about, which was going small
Small
claims.
plants, yeah.
And, with your permission, I'll draft up a thing to MMA about this shaming policy. Cause they didn't mention it, but that's the first step, I think, is to say, okay, these people are not, haven't paid it, and these are the amounts. Then the next step is to try and get it.
Yep.
And, my suggestion would be you break off a 1 year, go to small claims court, see what happens.
Yep.
Now, tax collector doesn't want to do it, but I'll go and hold her hand if that's what we need. I think she's just afraid to do it, that's all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's something new for her, so. I think if you do it once and figure out the process, then you can do it over and over again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, this, put this in the paper or the shopper's guide or whatever. Somebody might complain that it's unconstitutional, or is that, so MMA says it's okay? and-
It's right in their handbook.
I feel like, I think of one person that would say, hey, you can't do that. And I know he owns personal property. He said he'll never pay it.
Yeah. For what he owes, it isn't worth going after.
Yeah, yeah,
To be
right,
honest with you.
yeah.
I mean, it's not, he's gonna owe $150, $175 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
been going after some places that have got 13,000 out, some places have got 16, 17,000 out. Now, that's what,
That does, yeah. But if we do it for one, we have to do it for other people.
well, when
Well,
you
yeah.
get accumulated that much.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so-
just wait until we go to that, then we'll hit them, huh?
It says, one aspect of the tax deed process that may have resulted in increased collections is the listing of all delinquent taxpayers in the newspaper. Nothing prevents a collector from using this technique in combination with the tax lien mortgage process. We're talking more about real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what my question would be to MMA, is could we use it for personal property?
Yeah, yeah.
Says if the collector does publish such a list, the list must be complete and accurate and should indicate the date that the list was prepared, so forth. And then it goes into the other processes.
Don't feel like you're going, like in the Fulton Price, you'll find something in there, you can use them for example.
I don't know if the local press, I don't know if the local newspaper will do it or not. The,
Shepherd's guy will.
There's a lot of people who pay their taxes and don't like it, but they do it. I don't like to pay either.
You do it, yeah.
It's our
Everybody,
responsibility, it's our responsibility to see that it gets, an effort is made to collect.
True, yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm agreeing with that.
All right.
Baldwin Active Kids Program, this is the,
So the other day we gave Ariel 3 documents. One had to do with COVID policy, one had to do with a draft position description, and the other one was financial management. And she asked that we spend some time getting to know her business a little better. She said, we don't know what she does, how she's done it. And I said, true. She wanted me to sit down and look at the way she does her billing, because that probably, it didn't appear to be in accordance with the rules that were drafted up for her. And I didn't say yes or no either way. I said, it needs to be reviewed and approved, and so somebody needs to, someone or all of us all together need to sit down and look at what she's doing and come to an agreement. She works for us, we are her supervisor, and so it's, we need to set the rules for how she operates. It doesn't do any good to grumble about what she's doing if we don't set the rules.
I think all three of us can sit down and talk to her.
I would, I don't have a problem doing that. I don't want to be the one who drives everything though, and so I was wondering if one of you folks would take it and be the lead on it. She got this on my desk.
I gotta say, we gotta sit down and talk to her first.
yeah,
And, it's a state COVID policy, which I don't know that it differs a whole lot from what we drafted up for, but, a little bit different. So, one of you would take the lead, I think, and set up a time for us to sit down with her and go through 1, 2, or everything all at once.
I think there's still enough stuff out there to get us wondering, you know, on some of the stuff we've seen and stuff here, so.
Okay, well, what I say is, you wanna take the lead on it? Sit down with her and talk to her and arrange for a time when we can all sit down and talk, or several arranged times.
Can you do that, Dwight?
Yeah, I can sit down and talk to her.
Okay.
But I still think,
You don't need to solve the issue, you just set a time when we will all sit down and talk to her.
Yeah.
And when we do it, we need to be prepared to address the range of issues.
Yeah.
I'll listen to what she's got to say,
Yeah.
you know, and then go from there.
Like how she bills her parents, or,
But we don't know how she feels.
right, yeah,
And she'll demonstrate it for us.
yeah,
And I say is, I don't expect that you would have to approve it all, Dwight, but if you just start the conversation and start arranging times when we all meet with her or something, you know, somebody needs to take a lead. That's
Yeah.
all.
I think that's gonna be important.
I kind of got it going a little bit because I drafted the documents and I think it's kind of something to start from, but.
yeah.
No, we need to put some more tools in the toolbox.
Okay.
Alright. AMPN, the whole, community solar, we got an answer back from MMA. They don't particularly care for us to,
They didn't, did they?
no, use the town logo for advertisement, which I kind of agreed with them. It could open us up for fingers being pointed,
You know,
It's kinda hard to go against what your council was telling you.
right, I think I agree with them.
so I make a motion that we not allow Ampion to advertise on our town website.
I second that. All in favor?
And, Danielle, if you could send the lady the legal meeting,
Yeah,
I think that we owe her an answer as to why.
a copy of what MMA said.
So I mean, just to generally say that you voted to.
We voted to not do it based
And
on
then
the
send
our
it back down,
council. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Foreclosure overview after January 1st.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of foreclosures, I think, that we need to review,
Okay.
see what the status is. There were several that we said, okay, if you make an honest effort,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
we won't be kicking you out, and,
We ain't seen nothing.
We have seen
I don't
anything
think
yet.
we've seen any honest efforts on either
Not
of them,
moving
either,
at all.
just two or three
Yeah.
of them, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after the first year.
All right. Reminders, Saturday, December 18th, town office is open. Friday, December 24th, the town office will be closed for Christmas Eve. Friday, December 31st, town office is closed for New Year's Eve. Mary, you got anything tonight?
No, I don't, thank you guys for everything, you're doing a great job.
Bruce?
I'm just figuring we're in the east station, we got the heater in now, and what the gas tanks moved.
Oh, yeah.
They finally came yesterday to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take unhook the electric heater and put a receptacle in, because it's running by an extension cord. Oh, it's too good. So sometime this week, I'll get down there and take the heater out and change it over to a receptacle, and so,
Oh, yeah.
but that works done.
Okay.
So, we'll have to-
That's the one in the bathroom?
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
one that keeps the bathroom.
Keeps the bathroom.
We've had electric heat in and the bill goes up
Yeah,
quite a lot.
yeah.
And
So we got propane in there now?
we got propane, a smaller type heater. Small, it's a smaller in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
We
need it.
put it in, that should help, the light bill anyhow,
Mhm.
by doing that. And we moved the tanks, because when they put put the tanks in, when they're done the building, the snow comes off from the roof on top of the tanks. You have 24 hours to get that out, if you don't, it turns to ice.
Yeah.
And
Shuts the gas
then you
off.
really work hard to get it out, so we're setting out more in the field, off the building about 10 feet. The only thing was, they couldn't dig down and bury the pipe in there. So, in the spring, that's gonna be revisited, have them come back and bury it.
It's ground floor
Everything
and
else is
that.
done. They put it in black pipe and everything, so all they gotta do is just dig it and drop it down and cover it back over. Other than that, nothing.
Okay. Kathy?
Couple of things. When we had the snow that required actually shoveling with the town trucks, they came off of 113, went down School Street. They completely didn't do anything with those two driveways and the side of the library that goes around the other side of the monument at all. Didn't touch it. So if that's the policy, those people are gonna be really in a hard position. Last year, somewhere about the middle of the winter, that section that goes from Norton Place to School Street, that one side of the monument area, they stopped plowing that, which at least gave them a way out. It also gives emergency vehicles ways in and out. And it's not helping the library, because if we have a lot that's reducing, people start parking on the side of the street there, they're not gonna have anywhere to go. So I'm not exactly sure how to address the issue, but, Gupta will do our lot, but he says the town has to do something about the side. He can trim it back, but he can't, not towards the end of the winter, so it's gotta be done like all the time, once we get real snow. You know how that is, you gotta push back the furthest in order to fill in over time. So he's trying to do that. So I drew a plot of the area, so that he'll have a map on file. So whoever he sends to do the job, because last year, it just kept smaller and smaller until you could only fit like 6 cars in the lot. That's not acceptable. We don't have that many events, but when the road hooking gals come, there's 8 vehicles. That's a lot of vehicles for us.
Can you send a copy of that to Danielle?
Sure.
And then if she, we can address it
Sure,
to Ryan?
yeah, no problem.
I have a number of times gone down and shoveled that out with my tractor, but I'm not riding my tractor 20 below down 113.
Why? Yeah.
It's done.
Adventure's over.
Well, not to mention dangerous.
Well, yes, there's that.
Yeah, so we can
Yeah.
get more of an idea.
Okay.
You're talking about that, where the monument is, it goes
Yeah.
around like
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The other thing is, we did tree lighting. Santa showed up. The kids were delighted, very shy, some of them, but they came over and they chatted with him. And, we had some great volunteers, there. We had some cookies that were donated. We had gifts that had an age specific written on the bottom. And, one of the little girls received the package and she was in tears. It was a little weather station. She was devastated. She was all of 6 years old. She wanted the My Little Ponies, something like that. So we swapped it out for something that was more style appropriate for the little girl.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
worked out great. Santa had a wonderful time, a lot of good pictures. Yeah. Good
How
turnout.
many did you get? How many kids you get?
I think we got 8 kids, but we got a lot more adults than we normally do.
Oh, really?
And once the kids started playing, the parents had to sit there and talk with each other, and they had a great time.
Yeah.
They missed the story hour, you know, where they could come and just sort of hang out while the kids are being entertained and educated.
Yeah.
You know, because that's important too.
Yeah.
That interconnected community.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, good time.
Good. Joe, you got any?
Yeah, thank you for the statistics, Bob, I love statistics.
I got some more.
Good stuff. I wanted to ask you though, about the bridges, because I noticed that, Pigeon Brook is marked as a bridge coming over 113, but then that culvert that you didn't want Long Road to drive over, not recorded here.
There's not, the plan is kind of deficient, I think.
We're agreed. Enough said. Thank you.
Last time there was 2 dams listed, we had Cal Salmon's Mill Pond Dam was listed, and Woods Mill Pond Dam was listed. Isn't even on there.
I don't know where those two dams are, but I think there's some kind of a problem with their printing of maps or something, but.
Yeah, like I said, you wonder just how accurate some of that stuff is.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, does it have any effect on us if a a bridge washes out that was never there to begin with?
The neighbors might complain.
You know, just wonderful, so.
Yeah, I don't know, and hopefully what it does is it highlights some areas that we've identified that need work. Because there's another portion of the plan that shows 4 or 5 areas that the town is working on. Saddleback Road is mentioned in there, culverts on Saddleback Road, but it says it's fixed, so I don't know. Most of the stuff that was listed actually addressed is road related. And a lot of it says it's already been taken care of, or it's, like I said, I think we can do a better job maybe on the next iteration.
Somewhere I've seen a census thing, it said we have 1,625 people in this town. But this thing only shows 1,500 people in town, you know, so there's another discrepancy.
1,500 is the number I've been hearing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's got me wondering. The poverty thing got me wondering too, because I remember some years ago back, our level of poverty here was way less than what Cornish's was in Parsonsfield.
We have to see if we can find theirs.
Yeah, I mean, you're in different counties and stuff, and we're like,
We're in a different labor, whatever, a labor area, whatever, so we automatically are the wealthiest town in SAD 55, whether we are or not.
yeah.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
just do that to us. And therefore get to charge us more when they divvy up the school
Yeah,
bill.
yeah.
I'll trade places with you any given day. I bet you I pay more taxes where I live at than you do where you're at right now.
Maybe
We're in the town of Waterboro.
No, thank you. Thank you.
I got you to think.
I got distracted already.
Well, you got nice.
Curious, was emailed this afternoon about map 3, lot 25, 25X, 25B, what's going on with that?
I'm not sure, but it looks like it might be a subdivision that was never.
I went through my files and those lots were there before I started here. The first one, 25A, Christensen, he built in 2014 there, and the next neighbor was my first year here, Dyer, 2015. What if those lots were, the deed that was showed the original owner was a Fitch, the family Fitch, and is that their big Fitch plant over there where the Fitch General Store used to be?
Mm-hmm.
So, if family members own 25A and 25B, they can keep them, it doesn't form a subdivision. After 5 years, they can sell them.
There was no indication that it's family members.
What?
There's no indication that it's family members.
Okay,
Division.
yeah.
So-
I didn't start collecting deeds until about 3 years after I was here, so I
It
don't
might
have
be,
that.
it might be family members, but it
Yeah.
didn't appear to be.
So we have to do some digging in the records and find out the paper trail on the land. Okay. I have no knowledge. Lot 25, I had issued a driveway permit for there, and I checked on it for 2 summers, and nothing was ever done. I I don't know if there's a driveway there now or not, so there was no action on the larger lot 25.
The interesting thing is if you look at the plat or the drawing for the subdivision, it indicates that lot A was to Nancy Fitch said it to Kirk Christensen.
Yeah.
In
He's
2000.
a builder.
Huh?
He's a builder.
Yeah, and then lot B went to Kirk Christensen in 2003. And now lot C, which is right beside it, was sold, I guess, or created in 2016.
Yep.
So it doesn't appear to be family people, but, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
it appeared that when the lot B was created, that created the
Well,
subdivision.
what if one lot was, the land was divided once, one lot was made, sold, they waited 5 years, divided the lot again, so that,
It looks like it was
waited another
divided.
5 years, the lot divided again.
I don't think there was 5 years amongst them, so.
Okay, things a little chasing down, okay, that's all.
It's amusing that the deed, conditions were put on the deed that make it look as if it was a subdivision. Those are typical conditions for a subdivision.
Yeah.
You can tell I wasn't on a planning board that approved that, because I fight hard for rights to farm.
I don't think it ever went before the planning board.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
I know that.
But the other interesting thing is that the registry of deeds has it under Sebago,
Yep.
under Ball.
Oh, yeah, there's one thing right after the other.
We live up on 107,
What?
we live up on 107.
It's not, the access is right off of Birch Road, but it is, no, it's not near, it's near the, 114 of Bengal Road and, the
Long Hill Road.
connecting road between 107 and 114.
Yeah.
So it's where that radio tower is, down in that area there.
Off Long Hill Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that all? Is that all you got?
That's all.
Okay. I see you're back again.
Yes. I talked to, today, lady from Brookfield, and, they're all for a go on open that up down there. Yeah, so, but she's only got 30 days left with Brookfield, and, someone else is gonna be taking her position there, but she's gonna, turn around and relay the messages to, somebody else there that's been there for a long period of time. But they told me not to do any more than what I've already done down there, and I guess somebody next week is gonna come down and view the site. But they wanna be involved in it as well.
Good, let them take it over then.
Well, they own the property.
That's right.
The state of Maine DOT leases the property from them.
Right.
But I'm just trying to get you guys to be involved as well as the DOT plus them as well, so there's 3 people, you know.
Well, in order for us to do anything about it, we have to have, it has to go through a town vote.
Yeah.
And what you need to do is get a petition for 25 signatures, and you gotta detail how much it's gonna cost, how much it's gonna cost for upkeep, and really detail what it costs, and then we'll have to go to a town meeting.
Yeah.
So, that's your legwork you have to do if you wanna get this through.
Okay.
It's not up to us, it's not up to us, to be up to the voters.
Right.
Because they don't wanna spend the money on it. So,
I don't think the town of Baldwin would be spending an awful lot of money.
well, that's what you gotta figure out. You got your homework to do.
That's okay.
Cat, you got anything?
No?
All set? Anything else?
I'm good, thank you.
Bob, you have anything?
I'm good.
Right?
Yeah, we talked about this raising the cost of the building permits for solar farms, 25 cents a square foot.
Oh, right, yeah, good.
You know, we're looking at, back taxes of 16,000, well, it's pretty easy to let 15,000 go through our fingers here if we don't do something about this. So, how are we gonna go about doing that?
Well, we had that spreadsheet that, was put before us, right? I don't know if that is or not. My understanding was that the planning board set the rates for building permits based on cost per square foot. Is that right?
I think so, boy.
So that was done last, the planning board set the rates?
No,
No, we did.
yeah,
I mean, not the planning board.
Reference should set the rates.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so, I think, based on the information that you provided, here it is. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got that, all right?
Based on the information that the code enforcement officer provided, we would be closer in sync with the surrounding communities if we, charge 25 cents per square foot on, building permits. And that would be square foot on the solar panels when you're looking at solar farms. So I would move that we charge 25 cents per square foot on the solar panels for solar farms from here on out.
I second that.
Yeah. All good? Okay.
Thank you, Russ. Good work.
That's good, okay.
Yeah. Anything else, Warren?
No, that's the only thing I have.
Okay. Well, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second it?
Second it.
All in favor? Adjourned.